What's up, world? Wake y'all asses up. This is another episode of King of the Berries podcast, and I have a special guest with me. I have Erin here. Erin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, as you guys have heard, my name is Erin, and I'm here to do this podcast. I'm so excited, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yes. So, Erin is the lucky special guest, my first guest of 2021. So, I'm definitely excited to have her. And the reason I have her on as my first guest of 2021 is Erin has been a big supporter of the podcast and of me personally. Like, I definitely value her opinion, and she always has such great inputs on, anything that I'm doing. So I'd like to give a highlight to people that definitely support me and help encourage me to keep doing what I'm doing. And so Erin was like one of the first ones to respond when I said I was looking for guests. And me and Trey was one of the ones I did the podcast with about entrepreneurship. We used to go live every Sunday for about a period of like 2 to 3 months. We'll just discuss different topics, and Erin was one of the ones that always chimed in, giving such valuable input, challenging some of our ideas and things like that. So I'm definitely happy to have Erin on this podcast. And one of the things that we was talking about is the topic for today, which is personal freedom. And what does personal freedom mean to people? Why do we need personal freedom? All of these different type of things. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything started, and I'm actually gonna ask Erin. Erin, what does personal freedom mean to you?
Well, for me, it's just knowing exactly who you are. I feel like in this world today, we have so much coming at us, whether it's like TV, movies, the news, social media, friends, family, that we don't take the time to really understand who we are. I feel like we always know who we are, but because of all of that stuff coming in, we tend to forget certain aspects. And so knowing exactly who you are can really help you to have your personal freedom.
So you like say certain aspects. What do you mean by like certain aspects of like personal freedom? Like what's some of those things that you think kind of get misconstrued or we kind of lose focus of due to like social media, television, and things like that?
Yeah, it's basically, especially with social media, you have all of these people telling you, oh, you should be sustainable, or you should be a collector, or you should travel more, or you should do this, you should do that. And I mean, that's all cool. Like, nothing's wrong with that. If you want to do any of those things, by all means, go for it. But only if that's who you are, if that's what you really want to do, or if that's who you want to change yourself into being. It shouldn't be because everyone else is telling you to do something. And for me personally, I used to be like a people pleaser, like hard, like for like most of my life, especially through my late teens and into my 20s, like throughout my 20s. And so now that I'm a little bit older, in my 30s, but now that I'm a little bit older, I'm finally starting to realize I'm much happier when I take the time to just like shut all of that out and really understand who I am, regardless of what anybody thinks, And as long as I'm not hurting anybody, I feel like it's okay to do that, And I feel like it's okay for other people to do that. And we should just all stay in our own lane and just be happy for others being who they are.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think what happens is a lot of people really just not happy with their lives.
Yeah.
A lot of people not happy with their lives because they haven't found their purpose. They haven't found that thing that gets them out of bed every morning excited to tackle the day. A lot of people sit here, they work their 9 to 5s that they miserable at. They with a significant other that they unhappy with. They dealing with all these things that don't make them happy, and they find value in looking at other people on social media, on TV, like, oh man, I wish my life was like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, your life can be like that.
Exactly like that if you want it to be.
It can be like that. And that's the thing that I feel like people fail to realize is that, you are the master of your own life. You can make it be whatever you want it to be. But the thing is, you see these things on TV. You see the way people look on Instagram. You see all these different things. But do you really want it? is the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it you just seen it so much that it get programmed into your head that like, oh, it needs to be like that. Like the one thing, the definition of beauty.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
You know, the definition of beauty. Go ahead, I'll let you touch on it then.
Well, I mean, usually when I'm on social media, I see all of these women that have like the baddest wigs, the latest makeup, and like all of that, and they dress real well, you know. And for a minute, I was like, oh man, maybe I should be doing that. But then I thought about it, and I was like, am I willing to wake up like an extra hour earlier to do that? I think I like to sleep more, you know, and I think I look fine the way that I am. Don't get me wrong, they look gorgeous, and when I do dress up and I do stuff like that, I look gorgeous as well. It's just not like an everyday thing for me because I'm gonna admit I'm a little lazy when it comes to that. But yeah, when it comes to beauty standards, I think people should just be happy with who they are, and if you're not happy with who you are, then work on it for you.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Don't work on it because you feel like that's how you should be. Work on it if that's exactly who you want to be or who you are, you know, because then you'll be more happy. If you do it for other people or because of society standards, then you'll still be looking for that happiness later on down the road, you know. It's not going to complete you unless that's who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And that's the other thing too. Like me and Erin always talk. Well, we don't always talk about it, but we've discussed it before. But that's a big topic for us today. Is finding your personal freedom so that when other people don't agree with what you're doing, or when other people don't like what you're doing, or you don't like what other people are doing, you don't take offense to it. When you have real freedom, or when you have full self-confidence, which, let's be honest, all of us need to work on. I don't know nobody that's fully confident 24 hours of the day, 7 days a week. You know, so everybody could use help with confidence. Everybody could use that little boost, but at the same time, not taking offense to what other people are doing or what people say about you. Just having that full confidence. And to me, that ties in with personal freedom. Definitely. Because when you're comfortable with yourself, when you have that freedom to be yourself, you know, and don't care what other people say, then you won't take offense. It won't be so personal to you if somebody doesn't agree with your lifestyle, your sexual orientation, with the way you look, with you know, with your spirituality, you know, all of these different things. I think that's the issue. People want to infringe on other people's personal freedom.
Yeah.
You know, like let people be how they want to be, and you focus on being who you want to be. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about that, Erin?
Exactly the same way. Yeah. You said everything that I was thinking. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, because I've been seeing that a lot lately, whether it's in politics or religion or whatever. It's like, come on, like, I understand self-defense or anything like that, but if it's not anything that's really hurting you at all, like physically, then I think if you just shift your focus to like something else, like, what's a good example I can use? Today, my mom and my sister were having a conversation, and it got a little heated because they were focusing so much on the negative aspect of it. And I had to come in and be like, hey, is this really going to change anything about your life in a positive way? And they had to stop and think about it. And it was like, no, it's not. And I was like, well, if it's not, then why are you focused on that? Why is it bothering you?
That's big.
Focus on something else. Focus on something that will really bring joy to your life or help you move into the direction that you want to go in. And I feel like a lot of people are doing that. And I'm speaking from experience because I'm just starting to be that way where it's like, hey, I don't really have to focus on what they're telling me to focus on. I can focus on things that make me happy. I can focus on things that push me to my goals. You know, yeah. I don't have to focus on all the negativity at all. Yeah.
No, I think that's perfect. And I think that's such a big thing too, what you said. People always focus on the negative.
Yeah.
People always focus on the negative, and it's so much positive stuff out here.
So much.
For us to be focusing on the negative is kind of crazy to me. But I get it because misery likes company.
Yeah.
So if somebody not feeling if somebody's not feeling good about themselves, usually they try to bring the people around them down as well.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
see that all the time. But like you said, when you having that like a discussion or argument with family members, friends, significant others, when you having that going back and forth with them, is it towards a positive experience or is it towards a negative experience? You know, just taking that time out to sit. And if it's towards a negative experience, just let it go. And that's
Yeah.
something I've actually been learning. Like I really like I'm in a new relationship now, and I don't
What's up, Paul?
argue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't argue at all no more. Like I sit there, even if she try to get me there sometimes, I'm like, oh, you good. I'll just catch up with you later.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
just walk away.
sometimes it's good to take that separation for like a few minutes or a few hours or maybe even a day or something like that, because if you let it stew and like build up, it's just going to get worse and worse. And yes, communication is key and you should talk about it, but not when it's like at a heightened level.
Exactly.
You got to bring it down some so you can actually talk it out and come to a conclusion that's good for everybody, you
Yeah.
know? And so that's, Paul, I'm happy for you. I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know. Look, y'all got the exclusive. But yeah, it's it personal freedom is something I think people really don't pay attention to. That's why when you brought that subject up to me, I thought that was such a great topic because people don't think about personal freedom. We think about like, you know, like as of right now, Black Lives Matter, being equal, being
Yeah.
treated equally, and things like that.
Yeah.
But what are you doing for yourself personally so that you feel equal to everybody else?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Like
exactly.
like yes, us as a people in the Black community, we are trying to get to a place where, you know, everything's equal for us as a community, but it starts with yourself first.
It definitely does.
You know, so how what are you doing for yourself? What steps are you taking to get that freedom from negative thoughts, from lack of self confidence, from like not thinking you look good enough, not thinking you good enough to get the promotion at your job. Like, what are we doing to combat these negative thoughts to give ourselves that true freedom for ourselves first? And then as we continue to get that freedom for ourselves, us as a people, I think will start elevating more as well too.
I agree.
But so Erin, what's some of the things that you work on that help you get to like that help you towards getting your personal freedom, or to kind of make you feel like you have a sense of personal freedom for you?
Well, for me, it's definitely changing the way that I think. For a long time, like before, I told you I was a people pleaser, and for a long time, I dealt with depression, and so like for the last few years, I haven't dealt with it at all. And when I feel like it's creeping up on me, I instantly say no. You know, I forgive myself. That's one thing. That's the main thing that helps me to not be depressed or to put myself down or anything like that. If I think about a negative situation from the past, whether it was my fault or someone else's fault, I don't even consider the other person, because yeah, if they forgive me, cool. I wouldn't know because we don't talk anymore, you know? So my whole thing is I have to forgive myself and move on. You know, I have
Yeah.
to shoot down those negative thoughts, because if I let them keep going, it's just going to make it worse and I'm going to sink into a deeper and deeper depression. Also learning more about who I am, like sexually, who I am spiritually, who I am in general, like what I want to do with my life, where I want to go. I was talking to my mom the other day and she was like, Erin, you might not think you have a purpose, but you change people a lot and you don't even know it. I really don't know how I do it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Don't know how. I'm just being me. But one of the things that she said was that I'm very carefree and I teach others in my own way how to also be very carefree. And I never realized that because I guess I just didn't see it. I was always too busy trying to be someone other than who I was, you know? And so now with my own personal freedom, learning my own personal freedom, I'm learning that, yeah, maybe I am carefree. A lot of the things that used to be like shoved into my conscious of like, you need to do this in order to be considered whatever in society. Now that I'm not like that, or trying not to be like that, working on getting away from that, I really do feel so much more free. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just so weird how like everything looks clear. Like for a long time it just felt like I was walking in a really thick fog. And now I can see everything so clearly, and it's so weird, but it's so great. I don't even okay.
No,
I don't
good.
even know what else to say. I'm like really happy about it, and I really hope other people can get to that, because I don't ever want to go back to that, and I don't ever want to see other people like that. But because of the state of the world right now, whether it's the pandemic or the race war or politics, which is kind of like hand in hand with the race war, everybody's so angry, so uptight, focused on that instead of focused on like finding peace within, you know? And I just want people to do that, because it just makes me so sad to see the world so angry and so uptight when it doesn't have to be that way. This world is so beautiful, and the people in it are inherently good. I come across a lot of good people. Yes, there are terrible people out there, but I come across way more good people than I do terrible. And I think it's because that's where I focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of all over the place. I'm so sorry.
No, you good. And you know what? See, this is why at some point, y'all, after this podcast, I will be dropping my wrap up for 2020. That'll be coming first, and then we're going to drop this podcast with Erin. But in the wrap up, I talk about like how towards the end of the year, I want to start transitioning into like videos, and recording these podcasts so you can see our faces. Because as Erin was talking, I wish y'all could have seen her face. Like, she had the biggest smile on her face, and you could tell she really means what she says, far as that inner peace. And that's something, you know, if I could give anything to like everyone in the world, is that peace within themselves. Like, you could come. I think what it is, like you said, your mom said that you like touch people and change people. Mm-hmm. When people that's living in chaos come across people with peace, I think they want to gravitate towards them. I got friends, you know, I got coworkers, I got things, you know, people that's around me. They be like, man, Paul, like, yo, man, you mean a lot to me. You know, all the things that you're doing, I appreciate you, man. I love you for everything you put out to people, and you know, I just appreciate you for being you. And I think what it is like so many people is hurt out here.
Yeah.
You know, so many people going through struggling. So many people want to be heard. So many people want people to listen to them. And when you come across somebody that got peace, and with that peace, they use that to, you know, I ain't gonna say push it on to people, but they spread their peace to others naturally.
Yeah.
You soothe the people. You put them at ease. You know, and when you come, it's hard. Like Erin said, it's kind of hard to explain. But we trying our best to explain it to you. But when you have that peace, is something so like tranquil about it. It's something that like you can't go back to a chaotic lifestyle.
No matter how hard the world tries, or even sometimes your old self tries, it's so hard to go back to that.
Yeah, I told myself the same thing. Like, I'll never let nobody mess with my peace again. You know, children, spouses, family. Like, you can't let people. Sometimes, you know, even if you married, even if you got children, your relationships. If your relationship is bad, if you try working on yourself first, you'll be surprised how much better your other relationships get. And I'm an example of that. I don't know how many podcasts I told y'all, you know, from me going through my divorce, like, and that time away, like really working on myself, working on becoming a better man, first of all, becoming a better father, a better son, brother, you know, all of these different things. It really paid a big dividend in my life, because I found that sense of personal freedom. I found a lot of people can't be themselves because they don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? It just, look, that just popped in my head, y'all. It just popped in my head. But a lot of people can't be themselves because they don't know who they are. So it's easier to imitate other people than it is to really sit with yourself, dig out all the traumas you've been through.
Oh yeah.
You know, dig through all of the insecurities that you have. And trust me, y'all, I'm still digging. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not no short-term thing.
Oh,
We still
lifelong.
digging. It's a
Lifelong.
lifelong thing, because it's always going to be another trauma for you to deal with.
Yeah.
But you got to deal with it, sort through those things, and through those traumas, through those hurts, through those pains, you find that silver lining in it, or you find that learning lesson, or that thing that give you peace in the midst of all of that. And you take that and you use that as your foundation to build who you want to become, because that's what happened with me. Like, where I am now has a lot to do with all of the traumas, all of the things that happened to me in the past. I wouldn't be the man I am today. Erin, you wouldn't be the woman you are today if it wasn't for every single thing that happened in your life.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard those things was, God made us strong enough to carry those burdens, and to not only turn those to be able to turn those burdens into blessings for ourselves and for other people. And that's how all these hurts and these pains come out to y'all through these podcasts, you know, through my Rebuilding Men teachings with that men's support group. You know, when I talk to people about financial literacy, all of these type of things, like, it come from experiences. And that's why, like, you know what I learned, Erin?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, like, people love a bounce back story.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody really like perfect people.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
nobody really care for perfect people. You know, like, the first person that come to my mind is, because I'm a big fan of him, is Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about Kobe, about how he was the perfect guy and all that stuff. Then he had the situation that happened in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna dig in deep into that, but he had that situation, and then he, you know, it's some people that I'll never forgive him, even though he was acquitted for the situation that happened.
Yeah.
It's some people that the thing is, we are all imperfect people. We got to deal with the fact that at the end of the day, not everybody gonna like us.
Yeah,
Not everybody
definitely.
gonna agree with us.
Yeah.
So the sooner we can get over that, the sooner we can live in being ourselves to that full capacity. And like you said, stop trying to please other people. We only trying to please ourselves and be
Yeah.
the best version of ourselves possible. And so I think about Kobe and about how he was like, he wanted to be like MJ. He was trying to be the clone of it. He went through that situation, and when he came out of that situation, he took that as a learning lesson that he needs to spend more time with his family, become a better family man, and then also he needs to become the best version of himself as a basketball player and as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look at what happened when he passed away, to see the effect he had on the world,
Yeah.
not just through basketball, but just the person.
Yeah.
And we got so much, like, we don't have a lot of time here on this earth.
Oh, we don't at all.
We don't have a lot of time, but what you do with the time here is what matters. It's so many people out here. I know people in their 30s, they didn't travel to like 10 different countries, speak 3 different languages, got a PhD, I mean, experience so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's out here for us.
Yeah.
Like, for the people out there in the hood that, you know, you never been outside your own city, yo, it's so much more
Yeah.
that's out there. If you never been outside your state, it's so much more that we could go for. And, you know, all of these experiences, man, talking to different races of people.
Yeah.
That's something you need to learn. You know, dabbling, you know, looking into different like religions.
Yeah.
Like, just expanding your mind, because a lot of people, we are who we think we are, but then you get this new experience, and then it open your mind up, be like, dang, yo, like, maybe it's more to me than what I think it
Yeah,
is.
definitely.
And so that, I think a lot of that tie into that personal freedom, and just like what you were saying, Erin, like, how it's so important for us to, like, really focus on trying to find a way to get that, you know. So I think that's big. What else, as far as like personal freedom, did you want to touch on? I know we touched on a lot right now.
Yeah. The only thing that I can think of is that when I was saying that I struggled with depression and things like that, I really, really believe it's because I was holding on to a lot of things from my past. And I saw a quote or a meme or something like that. That was like oh yeah, it was a meme, and it was like a hand with like a rope around it, and it was like holding on tight to the rope, and the rope was starting to cut through the hand. And as soon as they let go, their hand was still hurt, but it was still there, you know. It just had to heal. And so it was basically saying the tighter you hold on, the more you hurt yourself, you know. And as soon as I started letting go of a lot of things, and like I was saying before, forgiving myself and just focusing on things that, you know, make me happy as a person, things really changed, like gradually, and then like sometimes like all at once. It's so weird how it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I would have to say right now. I'm pretty sure as soon as I get home, I'm gonna think like a million more things.
No, that's
but
all.
It's okay.
That's all. I do got a question to kind of follow up. First off, that was an amazing analogy. Like, I think, like, when you were saying it, I just started smiling because I was like, yo, that's a real representation of it. Like, the longer you hold on to something that's not right for you, the harder it is going to be to dig yourself out. But for everybody out there, it's possible. But I want to know, like, what's some of the things that you do to, like, that kind of help you, like, dig yourself out of that depressed state?
Like I said, it's been a while since I've been in it. So happy about that. But for me, it had a lot to do with isolation. I had to isolate myself, and I'm not saying that that's for everyone, because for some people you can go to a therapist and talk to a therapist, or, you know, express how you feel to your family members or your friends, and that did also work for me in a way. But I had to start out being by myself and like letting all of that stuff just come at me, because when I was younger and I dealt with it, and I'm not even talking about like really young, I'm talking about just even a few years ago to being like really young. But then I would just kind of like, nope, I'm not thinking about that, I don't want to think about that, and I would just kind of push it out, and it was starting to weigh on me. So eventually I had to just sit there and just let it all like come in, and I had to cry it out. I had to just be angry at myself. I was angry at the world for a little while, and then I just thought about it, and I was like, you don't have to be this way. You really don't. I literally just told myself, you don't have to be this way anymore. You can like yourself. You can like who you are, even with all the things that you may have done or the things that may have been done to you. You don't have to hold on to that. And every now and then, when those things, like I was saying before, when those things try to creep up in my head, I say, no, I forgive myself. And I keep saying it, and I keep saying it until I stop feeling that way. And then right after I stop feeling that way, I say, now it's time for me to create better memories. Yeah.
That's dope, yo.
Yeah.
That is really dope. I know for me, when I was in those states, like you said, hold on, what's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Cancer.
Cancer. Oh, you a Cancer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an Aquarius, so like by nature, I'm more of a loner anyway. So whenever I go through stuff, I automatically retreat to myself.
Yeah.
That's how I am. I clean myself up, dust off my shoulders, take care of my wounds, and then I go back out in the world like ain't nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
But for me, it was taking time out for myself, seeing therapy. And the thing I liked about therapy was that sometimes the therapist asks you questions that you never thought about asking yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of like make things a little bit more clearer than, you know, whether it's for yourself. But a lot of people can be their own therapist. A lot of times I am my own therapist.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like when I got this one block I can't get by, therapy kind of helped me with that part as well.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is sometimes we got to go out and we got to spoil ourselves sometimes.
Treat yourself.
You got to treat yourself. So like I would go to the movies by myself. I would go to like I'll go out to dinner by myself or whatever. I would do something for myself that I really enjoy, that I really like. So, you know, making sure y'all treat yourselves, you know, even people that single parents out there, like sometimes it might be worth it to pay that babysitter so you can have a little me time.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a spouse, y'all definitely want to do things together, but sometimes it's good to have y'all own separate time apart, because at the end of the day, you could keep working on your relationship all you want to, but if you're not working on yourself personally, that relationship always gonna struggle.
Oh,
It's
facts.
gonna always be. It's always gonna struggle. So, just like Erin said, just kind of taking those time out for yourself. You know, dig through all of those traumas. Like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be mad. You just can't let that stuff overwhelm you and take control of your life. You gotta take control of your own life, take reign over all of that. So I think that was definitely a big thing, and I'm glad you brought that part back up, because especially right now, it's a lot of people going through depressions. It's a lot of people that's stressed out. There's a lot of people that just feel like they stuck and don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And financially, if you're in that situation, it's always hope, because it's 1,000,001 ways to make money out here legally.
Yeah.
Legally. We don't want to resort.
Gotta make sure
Let me put the legally out there part. We don't want to resort to illegal means, but it's more than enough ways out here to make money, and it's people out here that's finding ways to try to do that during this time too.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, because I was thinking about this the other day and it went away and it just came back. But one thing is about being easily offended or having personal freedom and things like that. It's kind of like what you said about taking control, because we give a lot of people outside of ourselves control over our emotions. And we are human. We're going to have emotions, whether it's angry, sad, happy, ecstatic, whatever. We're going to have all of those. We're going to experience all of those. But at the same time, you can choose how you want to feel. And for a long time, I didn't know that, and a lot of people still don't really know that. So once you figure it out, once you realize that you are in charge of how you feel and nobody can make you feel any way unless you want to feel that way, I don't know what else to tell you.
Erin, you might have broke down the easiest way to personal freedom. Like, that might be that. We said all of this stuff. We just talked for about like more than 20 minutes. That's probably the easiest way. Personal freedom is taking control of your emotions, taking control of your thoughts, taking the control of your actions.
Yeah.
That's personal freedom right there. Not letting somebody else dictate. That's crazy. Not letting somebody else dictate your actions, no matter how much, people say to you and things like that. You move when you want to move. You do what you want to do, how you want to do it, if that's your choice. Yeah. So I think that's a great way to kind of close everything off. What you think?
I do too. I mean, sometimes it can be easier said than done, but the more you work on it, the better you get at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to be honest, even though we could have started with that, you said something that reminded me of it. So yeah. Thank you.
Look, Erin broke it down for y'all, plain and simple, y'all. But that's it for this episode of King of the Berries podcast. I want to thank Erin once again for coming out and joining me and giving such great gems for people that's out there that's struggling, or for people that's out there that just need reminders or letting you know that you're on the right path.
Yeah, confirmation.
Just that confirmation that, y'all are doing the right things, or for the people that's out there that's just looking for help. Like, it's ways to get help out here. You can seek out a therapist, but the most important thing is really looking within yourself, getting in line with your spirituality and whatever your beliefs are, and then just going off of that. But I think that'll do it for this episode. I want to thank Erin once again. She was amazing. We'll definitely see her back on the podcast again. And that's it, y'all. Y'all take care. Peace.
King of the Berry Podcast.